Hello and welcome to Amateur Hour episode 10. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm feeling pretty good. Got a lot to talk about. I'm surprised how much college football news now that we're covering it weekly tends to come up week after week here. So, yeah, what are you drinking there, Joey?
Just Mountain Dew, zero sugar.
Oh, zero string. I got you. I got you. I sent you guys a photo of this one the other day. Again, shout out Barntown because they're the ones they always catch me with a really great image on their can. Peanut butter and grape jelly sour.
Nice.
It sounds weird, but man, I fucking went through. Usually, I get through a 4 pack, and I'm kind of like, I'm over that one. But I'm probably gonna be grabbing another one of these, dude. It's freaking delicious.
Hell yeah. Did you have the French toast one yet?
Yeah, I was actually gonna. Once I'm done with this one, I'm gonna grab one of those. And it's weird. It was banana, pecan, French toast, sour. None of those make sense, but you taste it. It's literally like in that order, step by step, the flavors. And I don't know. I really like sours though. So I'm sure some people just absolutely despise it.
Oh yeah, and then I mean we talk about this all the time with how good Barntown's food is too. So go out and see their beer and their food.
Absolutely. So Clark, how you doing tonight?
Doing all right. How you boys doing?
Good.
Good.
So
I'm drinking too. I've got a Cutwater vodka mule.
Oh hell yeah.
Nice.
Nothing's better after like an hour-long nap.
See, it's a little easier for us to drink on a Thursday late. We're late in the week compared to the Monday pods. I can't drink. I'm not stressed about anything yet, you know?
You're not stressed on Monday?
Hell no.
Oh, man.
I won't be this Monday. I'll be stressed on if I need to take more vacation time to go to the victory parade, you know? That's the only thing I'll be stressing about.
Wait, so did either one of you take Monday off?
No.
Oh man, I've taken the day after Super Bowl off since the Falcons Super Bowl. And it is the most amazing thing in the world. I love it.
The way I deal with truck drivers, though, Joey, I can't really go, you have to be at work on Monday. We can't miss work because of the Super Bowl, and then I miss work. That just looks awful on my end, you know?
Hey, do as I say, not as I do, man.
True. True.
I've never taken that day off. I don't get most holidays off. I mean, it's just another day.
Yeah.
So
I only did it for the first one. I mean, not to sound braggy here, Joey, but once you're at your third Super Bowl, you're kind of, okay, we know what we're doing here, you know, when you need to take days off and stuff. So with that, we'll jump into the actual college sports here. This trivia question I have is actually going to be two parts here. So there's been talks this week about how Gonzaga might potentially be joining the Big 12 as a basketball-only member. So it kind of sparked this question I saw. Since 2005, Gonzaga has played 134 conference games at home. Can you guess how many wins they have out of 134?
133.
Oh, at home. Yeah, at home. So 133. Clark, what do you say?
they're perfect. 134.
Well, you both are a little off. Since 2005, they've only lost 6 games. They've won 128 games. Now the second
They've lost 6 home games
in the fucking whack or the WCC. It's just awful.
Why are they ever ranked number 1? That's freaking trash.
So, you know, clearly they win a lot at home. If you were to bet 1 unit on every single on Gonzaga money line on every single one of those games, how much do you think you'd be up at this point?
134 games, $1. Let's say $1 bet for every game. How much would you be up?
Yeah,
50 cents.
50 cents. Joy, what would you say?
Ooh. I was gonna say you'd win $1 for every game, but
money line. So remember, they've probably been heavy favorites in a lot of them.
Yeah. All right. I'll just go half. That you would be like $65.
$65. Clark was shockingly close. You'd be up 65 cents. If you bet Gonzaga money line every time in their home conference game, that just shows you how fucking easy they're or how much they've just been overwhelmingly favorites. You know.
So
that's terrible.
Does that take into account the ones you lost on those 6 games?
Yeah. So you'd be down those $6. Then you have only 65 cents left.
Still, even if they were perfect, you'd only be up $6.65.
Yep, if you bet $1 every game. God.
Wow.
I'm glad you said $1. I made the math really easy in my head here. So, but we'll jump into it because we do have quite a few, college football and college basketball things to get to. Now we got some actually big news in college football that's coming up. I mean, the biggest news coming out of Iowa City, they're playing at Wrigley Field versus Northwestern this season. Joey, you pumped for it?
That's the biggest news? I
Yeah.
didn't even know it until I read the agenda.
I wanted to start with that. I mean, when you have a game like that, do you guys have any inkling if, Kansas were going to play Missouri at like Arrowhead or something, or like this game they're playing at Wrigley? When they play at these offsides, does that encourage you to go to the game even more, or does it really matter to you guys?
I don't say that it matters. Is it cool? Is it kind of a cool event? Mm-hmm. I think it does increase the coolness. I mean, it's better than just an away game at Northwestern for sure. Then playing at Wrigley, it's just the whole environment. It's going to be a cool environment. I might check it out on TV, see what it looks like. That's for sure. But am I going to go? No.
If I lived in Iowa City, I would probably try and make the trek over to this. I like going to as many of the away games that are, within a few hours as I can. But for most of the Big Ten teams, like playing at offsite, neutral stadium type things, it is what it is. It's cool, but it's not like a trip to go to. But because Northwestern Stadium is so freaking terrible, yes, this is one to go to. If you want to go to a nice stadium and watch Iowa play Northwestern, probably go to Wrigley. But if you want to go to a terrible stadium and watch Iowa play Northwestern, go to their normal games.
That takes me to my next question. Is this because Northwestern's remodeling or redoing their football stadium? Is that why they're playing at a weird site?
I would assume so because it's late in the year, isn't it? Like November 4th?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look. But I know they are doing like a small remodel this year because when I was there last year, they had billboards and stuff up. They're building a whole new complex off-site. Yeah. So, this one, I don't think they're going to put a whole lot of time and effort into the stadium they're in right now. It may be time to start tearing that one down, though. You might be right. I don't know.
I thought I had seen some concept art or whatever about the new one.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think they've broke ground on that yet. So I don't think that they would be moving stadiums or anything like that. So maybe it is a small remodel. It's probably more of just a gimmick, knowing that there's a ton of Iowa people that are from Chicago that go to Iowa type of thing.
They're probably going, where can we get all these drunkards? Where just next to the alcohol, and they go Wrigleyville. Let's just get them right over there.
Because so if you've ever been to a Northwestern game, Bryant, did you ever go with us?
No, I didn't.
I couldn't remember. You have to go literally miles to find alcohol. It is atrocious. If you don't bring your own to tailgate, like if you want to leave at halftime and go get a beer, it's miles. Like you have to get in like a $50 Uber ride to go to a bar. It sucks. So if you're already in Wrigleyville drinking, just go. Yeah, it makes sense for them to be playing all their games at Wrigleyville, to be honest with you.
Second question, do they have metal detectors to find your flask?
Ooh, I don't know. I've never been to Wrigleyville or Wrigley Field.
Oh, no, I was talking about Northwestern.
I don't think so. I don't even know if they checked purses.
Yeah. So by the way, I did look up their schedule. They might, if they do something with the Purdue game, then maybe they do, because the last 4 games it was supposed to be home versus Iowa, at Wisconsin, versus Purdue, and then at Illinois. So I mean, if they do something for the Purdue game, maybe they are starting to break ground like a month early or so. But I wouldn't say. I just thought that one was interesting, that playing at Wrigley, and I think I put up on a poll on our Twitter at Heartland Pulse, and it was like 55%. It didn't gauge their interest on actually going to the Northwestern game.
I don't even know how many people actually know about this. Like until I saw it on the agenda tonight, I didn't know about it.
Got to keep up on the Iowa Twitter, my friend.
Oh, well, moving on to the next topic, I have been keeping up on the Iowa Twitter, and that's probably why no one else knows about this, because of the stupid fucking contract that they just gave Brian Ferentz. I'm sorry, this is going to be me ranting for a second, because you Chiefs fans have had the whole rest of the week to rant, but I'm going to go off on this. The stipulations for the contract are 7 wins and at least 25 points a game.
Yeah.
7 wins is bullshit. If you listen to what I talked about before on this podcast and then also read my blog, for me, that should even be fucking bowl eligible. So that is stupid and a terrible, terrible.
But he's taking a pay cut, Joey. He's losing $50,000 a year.
Whatever. If he meets these stipulations, then he makes $925,000 plus bonuses on top of that for making bowl games and having All-Americans and shit like that.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to make more money on this. And the reason is those 25 points per game are not stipulated to offense only.
Yep.
Are you fucking kidding me? You are tying in something to someone's contract that, one, they have no control over, and two, is benefiting from the whole another half of the fucking team. Like, that Iowa defense is going to score points. We know this. They've done it year in and year out. And they just got another vastly improved, amazing athletic linebacker from University of Virginia as a transfer. They're going to score more points this year. And then you put on top of that any safeties, any field goals, any shit like that the offense doesn't even have to score touchdowns in, and he's still going to probably get paid. Just so everyone knows, 82 teams last year scored 25 points per game. 85 scored more than 25 points per game. 82 made the bowl games. So basically has to make a bowl game.
If you want to know how good their offense has to be, they have to be as good as number 85 Arkansas State.
Which is still 33 points higher than we were last year. So, it is the biggest crock of shit I've ever seen for holding someone accountable. I don't even really want to keep going on this because it just pisses me even more off. So,
hey, Joey, I got a question for you. Who is Brian Ferentz?
Kirk Ferentz's son.
Oh, the head coach's son?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now, remember, though, Clark, that Kirk isn't his boss. Gary Barta is his boss. So, really, it's fine.
Yeah, and Gary Barta is Kirk Ferentz's biggest lover. We all know this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, I know why this happened. It's just disappointing and a sad day for Hawkeye sports when that type of bullshit's still going on. I hate it.
I agree with you. If you're going, hey, Iowa, if I'm the coach of Iowa, I've been there for a quarter of a century now. Hey, guys, I built this prestige of winning 8+ wins a game every year. This next year, we're going to go to the next level. We're going to have an offense just as good as Arkansas State. Those two should not be in the same conversation, man. Iowa should be talking about, hey, we need to get to the levels of, I'm not going to say LSU. I'm trying to, national powers that are higher up there. We need to be to Penn State's level. We need to be to USC's
Michigan.
level. Exactly. That's what you should be striving for. You shouldn't be striving for not even middle of the road. That is below average. Congrats. We're as good as Arkansas State.
Right.
Just terrible.
It's so stupid. I heard you guys talk about it a little bit last night too on the Road to Super Bowl podcast. Yeah. And I didn't take, just for the record, I didn't take offense to anything you guys are saying because I still think it's bullshit and it's stupid. And obviously I'm ragging on this shit too. Yeah. But bringing up, I can't remember who it was brought up that basically, I can't remember even what you said now. Well, train of thought just ran off the track. So
honestly, you're just so frustrated with this whole thing, and I get it. I think it's like we've mentioned before. I think it's just frustrating where you see Iowa State. Hey, you weren't good enough. You're just out. It's just you're just not here anymore. We're making the changes. Your biggest rival's doing that. You're seeing other teams, the Big Ten, making those changes, and then you're seeing, like you said, it's just a lame excuse to keep his son for at least another year. And then if he hits it, then they go, see, he's hitting the goals that we set, the bottom of the barrel goals that we set for him. I mean,
yep. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. One of you brought up that, with that defense and stuff, they're a playoff team more than likely if they score 25 points a game.
That was your
That's not going to happen because of Brian Ferentz, and it's so disappointing.
I think Phil Parker deserves. Just proportional to the points that he scores, he gets a proportion of that bonus that Brian gets. I think it's like
I don't know. Every time that defense scores, it should be $100,000 away from Brian Ferentz, and What they should do is just make it even. Between the two of them, they get paid $1.9 million. Depending on how the defenses are rated and offenses are rated, is who gets paid what.
For like in Iowa State, it would be 90% goes to the offensive production and 10% for the defense. Iowa, you're pretty much even on both offense and defense, man.
Shit. By the end of the year, Brian Ferentz will be making what I make. I mean, he'll be in the poorhouse.
Yeah. So. That'll get him a PPP loan, don't you worry.
Yeah, so. Exactly.
But we'll move on, Joey, just so you don't get even more worked up on this, because we've actually got some good news, at least on the Big 12 side.
Yes.
Oklahoma and Texas, this broke within the last 2 hours, but Oklahoma and Texas have been granted early access or early exit out of the Big 12 here. Now, this isn't immediate. I would say they are going to be playing in the SEC in the fall of 2024, because we've already scheduled the Big 12 games. So I would say that is going to, it's going to be nice, honestly, to get one more go-ahead in the Big 12, but we're going to play in the SEC in 2024. Each of the legacy schools is going to split $100 million, so each school gets about $12.5 million. And then it sounds like there's more to come with the actual games of like SEC scheduling in the future. Fox will. Then there's some network stuff like Fox will get games that ESPN's supposed to get because they're losing profit in their deal with the Big 12 by losing 2 blue bloods. Let's just be honest of what it is. But I'll be honest, man, as a Big 12 fan, I'm excited for it. No one has wanted OU and Texas there since they've stabbed us in the back. OU and Texas, they don't want to be there anymore. They want to get out of the little leagues and they want to go to the big leagues. I think this is just a win-win for everyone.
I agree. I think that you hit the nail right on the head with them wanting to be out of there. You guys not I don't want to say butthurt, but the rest of the Big 12 kind of just getting backstabbed by them to leave to go somewhere else. So I think it's a good thing for both of them just to, cut ties and move on and just make it a nice, easy breakup for everybody.
I think the best analogy I just came up before we started here, this reminds me of the Chiefs and Tyreek Hill. We couldn't find a middle ground. Clearly, let's be real honest. When he was here, Tyreek did not want to be here. He made it very clear with not signing our contracts and everything. I don't want to be here. The Chiefs, frankly, if you don't want to be here, we don't want you here. And we're just trying to get the most out of this deal. They are only leaving 1 year earlier. But, again, $12 million for Iowa State when I think right now our annual media rights is around $20 million. I mean, we're getting a sizable chunk just up front simply from them leaving. And then now, frankly, from all of our standpoints, now there isn't the blue bloods hanging over us. Now we can just, we're going to move on fresh. Now we have a new Cincinnati that's coming in. We have the opportunity where, like for an Iowa State that has never dominated this conference, maybe we can jump in. Maybe Cincinnati or BYU or UCF, Houston, one of these schools can jump in and it's anyone's conference now. Big Ten, the Big Ten, it's Ohio State, Michigan. Let's be honest. The SEC right now it's Georgia and Alabama until someone does something different, which is kind of funny. LSU has won in the last 5 years. They can be in the conversation too, but we have these blue bloods now. Big 12 seems like the one conference where it's wide freaking open.
Yeah, I guess would you even say is the new conference blue blood there? Like who's probably won the most? Oklahoma State?
For
as far as football goes. Yeah.
Kansas State probably. Kansas State, Baylor, Oklahoma State are probably going to be the key ones right now.
It's KU.
What's that?
Rock Chalk.
Kid gets 1 6-win season, and all of a sudden he can't fit through doorways with that big old
I mean, technically, Cincinnati would be the only one that's made the playoff in that conference now. Kansas State. What?
Yeah,
no, TCU. Jesus, I'm an idiot.
I was going to say, I was trying to think like way back. I mean, UCF has their fake national championship, so they've been undefeated.
Didn't make a playoff, though.
No, did not make a playoff. Let's just remember that they did not make a playoff because their heads are getting a little big too. But I don't know, man. I'm pumped. It was just going to be an ugly breakup, anyways. I think the Big 12 honestly not only getting those two out. I think this opens up the way Mark has started. He's renegotiated our TV media deal. He's now gotten the two backstabbers out of the conference. I think he's going to start expanding, man. I think he's legit with what I'm hearing about the Pac-12. They can't come to a media rights deal because the Big 12, let's be honest, it's SEC, Big 10 that are the big dogs. And then right now you kind of have this wavering of ACC has their contract until 36, and I don't know when they can renegotiate. Big 12 jumped in and set the market price for the next tier down as high as it will be. No one's going to overpay the Pac-12 that hasn't been in the playoffs in 6 years because football makes money. They're not going to overpay for the Pac-12 when they're already paying a certain amount to the Big 10 that actually has been competing in these playoffs at least. So, and with the Pac-12, who are the teams that are competing in the playoffs? Washington, that one-off year, and then USC is always the contender, and UCLA, and they're leaving. So, I mean, the Pac-12 is, I think, realistically going to be what everyone thought the Big 12 was going to be around this time, and it's a conference scrambling to try and pick up SMU and San Diego State. I mean, that reeks of desperation, dude.
Oh yeah.
So, I don't know. I would say I think it's going to be a good thing. It'll be interesting to see how this continues to break down, though.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm glad for the Big 12. I just hope that the teams that come in elevate them so they're competing and it's a 3-dog race and people get into the playoffs and stuff. That's what I want. So.
I think they will. I would say for football wise, BYU has always played a tougher than average schedule, because they're playing, Arkansas randomly. They'll have their cupcakes as well, but they have done well the last few years with their scheduling. UCF, I mean, I think they're stable enough. I think they went to a bowl game. They're going to be just fine. Houston, I mean, they lost to Kansas last year. What kind of fucking team loses to Kansas? And the rough one was we were hoping Luke Fickell would join and Cincinnati would be right there. Then he leaves for Wisconsin. Now all of a sudden you're going, yeah, since he was in the playoff or in the playoffs 2 years ago, but what are they going to be now? So,
well, it'll just be easier for Matt Campbell to go over to Cincinnati and be their head coach. So
easier for Iowa State to win the Big 12. We're going to the playoffs this year. 100 deckers all the way. Big deck energy. That's all I'm going to say.
Big deck. I love it.
Big deckers energy.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll what's that?
Nothing. I was just going to say Brock Purdy's nickname, but
Big Cock Brock. I'll say it for
that's
you.
Right. There.
So, we'll jump into some basketball here. So just for our Heartland teams, Kansas is at 9, so they went down 1 of the rankings. Iowa State, even with the loss last week, they went up 2 in the rankings. They're at 11 right now. Kansas State went down 5 spots. They're at 12. And then Iowa's starting to get some votes, so they're actually, quote-unquote, ranked, but they're at 36 right now with their total votes. So all our teams are doing pretty good right now. So we'll kind of go. Actually, Trent is joining in right now. Trent, before we move into basketball completely, how you feeling about Texas and Oklahoma leaving for the SEC a year early?
Good.
That's all you need to know. Feeling great. Another Big 12 fan that's satisfied. So,
what's the weather like, Ollie?
Yeah.
Early.
If they could leave earlier, that'd be even better.
Well, it's got to be 1 year at least. So, but we'll jump into basketball here. Iowa 15-9 right now. They dropped to 7th because they did get a close win versus Illinois, but just tonight they lost to Purdue 87-73. I mean, there's no answer for that Edey dude. How do you stop a 6'4" center that doesn't foul anyone? Or I'm sorry, 7'4". That It's a 6'4" center. What is this 1A Iowa basketball?
Yes. So I guess I learned tonight that Arizona has 2 twin towers basically that are both 6'11" and 7 foot. How do they have any losses? I mean, if you have 2 7-footers basically on your team running up and down the court, I mean that's crazy. But
at one time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're both on there right now. So yeah. Anyway, Purdue. I watched till halftime of that game, and they were down 17. So then I decided to take a nap before the podcast instead. And I was watching the women's game at the same time, and they ended up losing 87-78. and they were playing number 2 Indiana. And while I started watching them, Caitlin Clark missed like 3 out of 5 shots. I was like, nope, turning this off. I'm bad juju. So, yeah. But no, Iowa, I mean, they've looked good. They're going to make the tournament. They got 15 wins, so we'll see what happens.
Nice. Oh, sorry. What do you think about their upcoming schedule? They got to play at Minnesota and at Ohio State in the next week. Think they go 2-0? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a really scrappy and good team. They're the highest scoring offense in the Big Ten. So I think they can play with anybody. I mean, Purdue is probably going to outpace them every time they do play them because they just can't stop anything. But the rest of the teams in the Big Ten, I mean, I think they can play with. I don't know if they necessarily beat them all the time. But, yeah, I think they go 2-0 against Minnesota, Ohio State. And then Northwestern with that big matchup that got postponed earlier. We'll see what comes out of that one. But I think they win that one as well.
Nice. Well, and again, they finally got McCaffrey back. He's been playing well, and with the Big Ten, it's not going to hurt you too bad if you have a couple losses. I mean, they are, they're still a legit basketball conference, so It is what it is on that side. I'm trying to find who.
Some may say it's the best conference in the nation, but
some people are really wrong.
Also, Ohio.
Yeah. If you're talking wrestling, then you're right.
Well, I mean, yeah. Speaking of Iowa Hawkeye basketball news, Keegan Murray set the rookie record for the Sacramento Kings 3-pointers already this season with 130 before the All-Star break. So Kings are like 3rd in the West, baby.
Nice.
They still got De'Aaron Fox.
They do, and Sabonis. So, yeah, that team is young and pretty loaded with talent.
Is a Woogie Cousins still there? I'm trying to think of anyone that's been on that team.
Peja Stojakovic, Chris Webber, Mike Bibby.
Mike Bibby, yeah, that was probably going to be the only other one I could think of.
Remember White Chocolate?
White Chocolate?
Yeah. Jason Williams, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So the one thing I did kind of like it before we move on from like Big Ten basketball. So I can't remember who Purdue lost to a couple days ago. Oh, it was Indiana.
Indiana.
Yep.
I loved it as much as I'd like to kind of shit on Edie for being a 7-4 monster out there. I love there was a press conference when they lost, and it was like I think it was a 1-possession game. Give me 1 second. Yeah, Indiana won 79-74, so there's probably some free throws in there. One of the reporters was just like roasting his point guard and why did you make this mistake, and kind of pressuring him. And the kid gave a pretty solid answer, going, hey, I just missed it, and yada yada yada. Edie immediately took the microphone. He goes, hey, in a big game like this, every single mistake is it affects the outcome of the game. He goes, I was missing free throws, I was doing all this. I don't know. That's what a leader does. He jumps in and he tells you, hey, we all, this isn't the last play that gets all the attention. It was me missing 4 free throws or missing a critical block and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want to see from your lead players. I mean, stepping right up like that. Honestly, this Purdue team is scary good, just amazing. So,
yep.
Yeah.
I don't know who their small forward is, but that is one good-looking motherfucker, man. He is a good-looking dude. Holy shit. I saw him tonight on the TV. I was like, that's a pretty man. Like, that's crazy.
He lost his eyes or something?
Yeah. I did for a second. I was like, holy shit. But also, if you watch that video of Edie making that statement and stuff, his arms are so freaking long. I thought they were like trying to take the mic away from the point guard, like someone off stage. No, yeah. It's just him, and then the camera has to pan like, whoa. That was pretty funny.
You ever see like in the old timey like either talent shows when they're like trying to pull someone off stage, it's just that big old cane comes out from the backstage and yanks someone? That's just Edie's arm, just pulling him out of the way.
Exactly what it looked like. If you're out there and have Twitter, check that baby out, man.
He can do the Michael Jordan dunk from half court, on Space Jam, but in real life.
Yeah, that's just his normal stretching right there. Also with Edie, he's averaging 2.2 blocks a game and only 1.7 personal fouls a game. I mean, this kid's just an animal, man.
Thank God he doesn't play for Iowa State at West Virginia.
There it is. Let's jump into it. Iowa State. They had a solid weekend. They beat Kansas 68-53 and just throttled them in Hilton. And then they went to Morgantown. They lost 76-71 here.
Did you hear that? Dude, that was another whistle. A ref just called another foul in this game. Again.
Was that foul number 50 then?
That was 51. There was 50 fouls.
I only counted 49.
Iowa State had 31. West Virginia had 19.
The box score must have been wrong.
That's what I don't know. Maybe hell, I could be wrong. That's what it said last night when I looked.
So let me see here. I got to get all my stats pulled up here. So I would say let's just jump into West Virginia. Honestly, with how good of a game that we played now in Fieldhouse, it doesn't even shock me that we did play that well versus Kansas. We were amped, and we rise to the occasion when we're playing teams. And then when we're playing teams that are lesser in our conference, we shit the bed. Texas Tech. Now we got West Virginia. I'm sure there's one.
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. We rise to the occasion. We play to their level every single time. Now, I don't know how we dictate playing to the referee's level. And by the way, I've said it on a few of our podcasts, complaining about officiating is loser talk. Yes, this is official Cyclone loser talk. Me and Trent are about to go off here. Trent, you just want to go first? I'll say so I don't break up your heater anymore.
I don't think it's loser talk. I know there was a discrepancy in the number of fouls, 31 to 19.
Yep.
But that game was terribly officiated both ways.
Yeah. 50.
When you have to call a foul, every 45 seconds? That is insane. I know I mentioned to you the tweet last night, and I think you saved it, but yeah. Iowa State fouled on 31 of West Virginia's 69 possessions. Come on.
45% of the time there was a foul on a possession.
That was just Iowa State. So if you add West Virginia's in there, it's going to be even higher. It just, I mean, just some of the soft calls, like Oshuni's foul out.
Mm-hmm.
The ref it was on a missed free throw. The ref blew the whistle before the ball was even rebounded.
Yeah.
90 feet away from the other basket to foul out Iowa State's player.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about it was just a terrible game. Like, these teams are both physical, both great at defense. Mm-hmm. Let them play. The refs are like, nope, this is about us.
That's what it felt like, was just a ref show. Because when you have two teams that are playing hard, let them play hard. If one team, because Iowa State, I've always said, when we're playing that hard defense, if you're playing certain competition, they're going to call, because you can't just go ham like that all the time. But when both teams are doing that, let alone both teams are playing hard, and then there's that big of a discrepancy, that's just bullshit, man.
And that's how West Virginia has played that tough defense for the last decade.
Yeah.
Have they had 3 players foul out in a game? Probably not.
They had
and
one.
Then two others with 4 fouls? Probably not.
Yeah. See, that's a full lineup that's almost fouled out, dude.
Yeah.
Iowa State had 5 fouls called for them in a 35-second span between the 17 and 16 minute mark. How? That's every 7 seconds there's a foul, man.
West Virginia was in the bonus. They might have been in the double bonus before the under 16-minute media timeout. In the first 4 minutes of the second half, West Virginia was in the bonus.
God damn. I fouled out in an 8th grade basketball game in 2 minutes because Mr. Nicewinger kept me in. That's crazy.
Dude, these refs last night would have hated you.
Oh, yeah. To put it in perspective, the Iowa-Purdue game, Purdue had 2 fouls in a half. The whole game. Or in the whole half.
Insane.
Just the cleanest team in the country. Just a bunch of hardworking guys over there.
Well, Iowa only had 3, so it's not like it was just one-sided.
I would rather watch that. Like, both teams, even if they're hacking the shit out of each other, it's not being called both ways. Who cares? Let them play.
Yeah. In the last 3 conference road losses, Iowa State has been called for 81 fouls. The opponent has been called for 46 fouls.
Yeah.
They have
Almost
had
double.
96 free throw attempts compared to our 57. And last night, dictated by 5. Oklahoma State dictated by 2, I think, 2 to 5.
Mhm.
And I can't remember. Texas Tech won in overtime by 3, I think. So when they get 40 extra free throws and the winning total is by about
7.
10, yeah,
It's 7 over those 3 games. Well, actually, Iowa State has lost 4 road conference games by 7 total points.
yeah.
Oof.
So again, like that's where it's like, yeah, we can whine and bitch about it. These aren't going to be hurting losses. I'll be honest.
No.
Keep us away from the 2 and 3 seed. We know what happens when Iowa State's in those seeds. Let's just get us to a 4, but not get us down to an 8. You know, let's have something 4 to 7.
Yeah, and it's just, make a play here or there, make a shot, make your free throws. Iowa State wins those games. Whatever. It is what it is. But I'm not complaining about the officiating against Iowa State. That was unwatchable basketball.
Yeah.
That game took, what was it, 2 hours and 40 minutes?
Yeah.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, college basketball should be under 2 hours.
Yeah.
There was like
Holy
2 hours and
shit.
40 minutes.
So
That's terrible.
Iowa plays football games in under that.
Yeah, you are correct.
This tweet obviously came out before the game was over, but it was Chris Aringa that tweeted out. He said 30 fouls. We actually ended with 31. The only time Iowa State has been called for more in a Big 12 game was a 4 overtime game at Missouri and a 1 overtime game at Oklahoma State, both in 2001. I mean, we had to play basically a whole other game in order to get as many fouls, and that was 22 years ago.
Jesus.
Historically bad refereeing.
Unwatchable basketball game.
So the good thing is the Big 12 basketball is SEC football, so losses really don't fucking matter. We're still going to get the treatment we deserve, in my opinion.
We deserve.
We deserve. I knew you'd like that. We get 2 home games now. We get some home cooking of our own. We can get revenge versus Oklahoma State, and then we're going to play a tough TCU team that, after the 3 was made in their face, I think they're going to come to Hilton with a vengeance. But again, undefeated in Hilton, without a shadow of doubt, I think we're 2-0. I think after we've just gotten our ass kicked by the referees, I think we're going to come out focused and ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think Iowa State has a legit chance of going undefeated at home this year.
Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but the sweet spot for your Iowa State season would be win enough games that you get a good seed in the Big 12 tournament, win the Big 12 tournament, but you're still a 4 seed, right?
I say win the Big 12 regular season.
Yeah. I'll be honest, win the Big 12 regular season, lose the first game of the Big 12 tournament so we can rest up for the NCAA tournament, so we can make our national championship run. 1 to 50 odds right now for Iowa State, and I might put the house on it. TJ made the Sweet 16 with not the greatest team, lost pieces, and now we're better than ever. So
yeah,
don't doubt the man. He wears.
I saw the bracketology last night. KU is still a 2 seed.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Their logo is still a Jayhawk, so I mean, of course they're going to get that treatment.
They are reigning national champions.
Yeah.
Put some respect on it.
Does that make them a 2 seed this year?
It gives you an extra seed. I don't care what it is. It always gives you
Gonzaga's probably a 1 seed still, and they're ranked 15th with 5 losses.
Probably.
Yeah.
5 losses in that power conference they play in. Woo!
Well, yeah. Well, I would say we'll jump to Kansas. They're 19-5 right now. They're also one of the many teams tied for second in the Big 12 with Iowa State. I think Texas is 1 right now, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, we gave them a knock on the chin in the last game, so
yes, sir.
Helping the group out.
I would say, did you watch both these games? They lost to Iowa State and then they did beat Texas at home. Did you catch either of those games?
No, but it's pretty much following what I've thought this team is, and that's young and inconsistent. That's what it boils down to. Your favorite guy, Big Grady Dick, was scoring leader for the Texas Longhorns game. So I saw the scorecard for that one, and my wife's like, do you think if I told you Jalen Wilson only scored 2 points, that they would win the game, I'm like, hell no. He's their star. He's the guy that should be out there scoring 20 points every game. Yeah, he put up 2 points. Big Gritty Dick, he came through. He had 21. They shot the ball very well in Texas. So, or against Texas.
Couple things about Grady Dick. One, I've sent you guys a couple TikToks of him doing TikTok dances. Clark, does that change your opinion on anything about him?
No.
Okay.
He's 18. He's in that generation where he's doing dumb stuff on TikTok.
It is kind of funny seeing this kid that's like 6'7" or whatever, big old lanky bastard, doing like some Fortnite dance and shit. I got a good chuckle out of that.
He's a goofy kid from Bel Air, Kansas, man. Like what more? Like you can't hate him. He's just a goofy kid.
Mm-hmm. No, this might be one of the first years where I've watched Kansas and go, like, there's not one person I hate. Like I always hated Perry Ellis. You know, it was just something about his face that made me want to punch him. Old as shit, you know, but you know, this year is just kind of like, okay, yeah, the reigning national champions. You can tell, like you said, you can tell they're young. They're just a raw team, but they're slowly picking up steam. They are currently, I got it pulled up here. So Texas is leading the Big 12 at 8-3. You have 4 teams that are tied for second: Kansas State, Kansas, Baylor, and Iowa State. I think Baylor's sneaky going to steal the Big 12 here out of nowhere when we thought they were dead and out.
I don't think there's going to be a winner of the Big 12. I think everybody's just going to tie for second.
We're going to have like the gold medal that for who gets first place, and they're just going to cut it 6 different ways and just hand it out to everyone.
There's not going to be a 1 seed at the Big 12 tournament. They're all just going to be 2 seeds.
6 buys, and they're just going to whatever bottom 4 teams you passed out. So, what was it? Oh, so a couple of you have daughters. I saw this video. This was probably a couple weeks ago. But it was so funny. The camera work, because ESPN had to cut from it right away. It's kind of going across like the benches and like the like it was like free throws, and it cut to this girl that was wearing a shirt that says "I love Dick" on it for crazy. Yeah. How'd you feel if that was your daughter? You're watching. Oh, my daughter goes to school there. Oh, and there's she wearing a shirt that says "I love Dick."
If I were him and I was an 18-year-old with his name, I would make my nickname Grade A. Grade A.
Yes.
And also, to touch back on Purdue's pretty guy, his name is Mason Gillis. Look him up.
Mason Gillis. Okay, well, I mean, you can't say that, and then of course we're gonna have to look it up here.
Get it on the screen, Brian.
Put it on the screen. This is Joey's heartthrob from the Purdue floor.
I got it.
Is this am I looking at the right guy? Is it number 0?
Maybe he's not as cute as I thought.
Brian's like, he's not that cute.
I don't. Yeah, that was the guy. I mean, maybe it was like in his eyes. I don't know, Joey. I'm not going to.
He looked good on the court.
Yeah, I mean that's the most important part. If you're going after a ball player, though, you know.
Yep.
I can see that, Joey. It just. Thanks. I'll be honest. I was expecting like. When you're saying a guy's like pretty and like I was like expecting like gorgeous, like he could quit basketball and be an Instagram model like now. He's okay looking, but you know maybe
this is like that
over mine.
The mugshot heartthrobs or whatever it was, where people put up like good looking people mugshots.
Yeah, like the
that's kind of what it is for Joey. There, he just sees this guy. He's like, oh damn, look at that.
He reminded me of like a cross between Blake Griffin and Steph Curry is what he looked like.
Oh, he's just got that right mocha feeling going, huh?
Exactly.
Mulatto butts.
My favorite on those, it's like Shorty's doing time or whatever the hell it's called, and it's like shows this just gorgeous woman, and it's like arrested for like public intox and assaulting a man or something, and like every
Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, it's Stetson Bennett. and every comment underneath is like, I can fix her. Please give me a chance.
Isn't there a Twitter? I think there's a Twitter account or maybe a Instagram account. I'm not sure. It's called Mug Shotties.
That's it, Mug Shotties. Thank you.
Mug
That's
Shotties.
the one exactly I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll see it like retweeted or liked on Instagram every once in a while.
So, before we lose the subject,
I can fix her. Oh no, I found that so funny.
Kansas is playing at Oklahoma and at Oklahoma State. Clark, how you feeling about 2-0, 1-1? What do you think, Kim?
2-0, baby.
2-0. I think so as well. Oklahoma, I think Oklahoma's an okay team. I don't think they got the home court that Gallagher Iba. They've got some home court there, so that one will probably be the tougher if with your younger raw team. But as we're seeing, fucking Bill Self pulling out another great coaching job where they look like they're going to be the Kansas we can knock down, and then
we're closing in on that home stretch. So it's about time for that Bill Self magic to really start working.
And he's gonna pull the fucking Georgia Bulldog football bullshit where no one believes in you. You're in second place. They never think that reigning national champions like we are could win. And then he's gonna get grade A dick penetrating up the middle, and they're gonna fucking win the Big 12 again and tear my heart out. So
he's a shooter. He doesn't really go for the penetration.
I thought you'd call it. I would think if Dick was shooting, you'd just call it ejaculating or something. But that's just my inappropriate mind. So
I would say he penetrates towards the hoop and pulls it back out.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then shoots
but then if the hole's there again, he'll penetrate again. He'll keep penetrating.
If it's there.
Is his favorite song "My Dick" by Mickey Avalon?
That's your favorite song.
My dick, grade A beef. Your dick, farts and queefs.
My dick plays forward for KU. My dick is better than you. Oh shit!
God,
welcome to Amateur Hour.
Yeah, that's true amateur hour. Amateur rapping, amateur takes. Damn, we're good.
That's right.
Oh fuck! Anything else you guys want to talk about college basketball? I really only looked at our teams this week, to be honest.
No, I'm glad you brought up the Gonzaga stuff because I hadn't even seen a game of theirs until they were on the TV before we started tonight, and they're pretty bad.
They're playing old San Francisco. They won a couple championships in the 50s.
Don't worry,
Right.
They'll be a 2 seed.
Yep. Yeah, 2 seed. And we're going, how do they lose in the Sweet 16? Well, because they're shit.
Who are the projected 1 seeds right now? I imagine one of them's Purdue.
Purdue, Houston, Arizona. I mean, we have bracketology on the agenda. Let me pull it up here. Or that's net ranking, I guess. I don't have the Joe Lenardi one. Probably Alabama, dude. They're 21-3.
I'm on it.
Some other one, yeah. I mean, Arizona only has 3 losses. UCLA is 19-4. Tennessee's 19-5.
Purdue, Alabama, Arizona, Houston.
Yeah, that didn't shock me.
With Texas, Tennessee, UCLA, and Kansas as the 2 seeds.
No love for the St. Mary's Gales, who are 20-4.
I don't see them
playing a real conference.
Yeah.
Unless you're Gonzaga. Unless you're Gonzaga.
I say, have they played Gonzaga yet? Because they played.
They did. They beat them last week.
Oh, really?
Yep. And they had them as a 5 seed for St. Mary's.
This is similar to when I would complain about SEC football earlier in the year. Does it piss you off when we have the Big 12 ranked matchups? You have Big 10 ranked matchups, and then primetime last Saturday night goes to unranked Duke versus unranked North Carolina.
Yeah, did anybody watch that? Anybody give a shit about that game? Nope. I didn't.
I'd say again, like I am turning into the guy where I go, there has to be one top 24-5 team. If it's not Iowa State or a Big 12, I have to have a rooting interest in like one team. It has to at least be a team that we're going to see in the tournament. And if it's 2 unranked teams, I just change it. Same with Duke and North Carolina now.
I saw a picture from game day. I think is Reese Davis on basketball game day as well.
I think so.
I think
it was either Reese Davis or Joel Lenardi. I can't remember who the hell it was, but it was a kid holding a sign saying, "I've been to game day 4 times. Can I get a picture with you?" And I just thought that just means if this kid is in college and been to game day 4 times, you're going to that school too freaking much.
Yeah,
go somewhere else.
And also, that kid's a loser and he should graduate. Who takes more than 4 years to graduate college? It took me 4.5 years. So, LOL joke on the inside here. But yeah,
I think I'm going on 14 years or something like that. I haven't graduated yet.
Took me 5.
That degree coming in the mail pretty soon, Joey?
I don't know. We'll see. I think I got kicked out.
Honorary doctorate.
Yep.
Honorary doctorate. Well, I don't know, man. I would say just remember though, like if no matter how Iowa State got minus or plus 12 on foul discrepancy, however you want to look at it, at least our coach's name isn't Hubert like North Carolina. Don't ever forget his name's Hubert. What a dweeb name, man.
What a dweeb name.
And we beat their asses when they were number 1. So suck on that, Tar Heels.
Hubert.
Yeah, Hubert. Fucking nerd. All right. Joey, was there anything in college wrestling, or do we should wrap a bow on it?
We can wrap it up. I mean, basically everything held court in college wrestling. I do want to point out that watch the Iowa-Minnesota meet. It was not good. The Hawkeyes looked sluggish. I don't know if there was a sickness going around or what, but we'll see when it comes out because a lot of the guys looked really, really slow and didn't move very well. Minnesota came to wrestle that night, so we'll see. But not a whole lot of movement anywhere. Iowa State did drop to 8. Right? Yeah, they won by 4 points or something like that.
Iowa State dropped to 8.
Yeah, did they
lose?
They must have lost. They must have last week. They dropped to 8 in the tournament rankings. They're still 3rd in the dual meet rankings, so I don't know.
Yeah.
When do conference championships take place for wrestling?
So it'd be the Natties are the 16th through the 18th, so it'd be like the first weekend in March.
Sweet.
Yeah, probably the weekend of the 3rd or whatnot. Yeah, that's about it for wrestling. I did put out another blog tonight for a preview for UFC 284, which is this weekend, and check out my other one from last week for the Bellator 290 card that was free on CBS.
Well, hell yeah, Joey.
That's not amateur hour.
Let's just hit them with those socials then while you're at it. Where can they find
you can find that on inthezone.studio tomorrow morning. That's one of our partner websites. And then also our regular socials are on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at Heartland Pulse, and then Facebook and YouTube. Just search Pulse of the Heartland.
Nice. Hell yeah. Well, again, we do appreciate everyone joining us live that's listening to us. Again, keep sharing, subscribing. We're thinking about doing a little bit more of a debate listicle type one. We did I think everyone really loved the Outbreak Day one that we did a couple days ago. So I think we'll kind of continue that.
Oh yeah.
So
cool.
But all right. Appreciate everyone joining. We'll catch you next week.